Hey guys, welcome to the, it's not week 25, but it's week 27, your Civil War U.S. history launch. Abraham Lincoln, the original duck face selfie. I just want to let you guys know I will be returning to Hershey again for another conference, so I will be out of town Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That does not mean I'm not reachable. It just means that I'll not be right at my desk being able to grade every single day, so I will be trying to make sure I get on at some point every day to grade. If there's anything immediate that you need, please reach out to tech support if it's a computer issue. You can reach out to Mrs. Salyards, our principal, or any of the other instructors in the Summit Learning Platform like Mrs. Roop, Mrs. Walters. Those are good people to go to. You can still send me a Hangout or an email, and I will get back to you whenever I have a few minutes and I'm not in a conference. Okay, so let's look at where we are. I think some people are still a little confused of how to start, where should I begin, especially those that are new to the platform and you guys have all of this stuff maybe read over here and you're kind of anxious about it being read, but that should all be removed eventually. So what I want you guys to do is try to pick up right with the Civil War stuff. Forget about these additional focus areas. If you're somebody who is behind and all of this stuff is turned red, I would say the additional focus areas are just not really worth it at this point. Those are more for somebody who has stayed on pace all year and who has a genuine chance of earning an A+. So if you're somebody who's kind of let things slip a little bit, it's okay. Nobody's going to judge you that you didn't get all of the additional focus areas done, but just pay attention to the projects and the power focus areas, those top 2 lines of each course, because that's actually what's required. And the additional focus areas are just extra credit. Remember, if you hover over the Civil War art project, it will tell you that due date is March 13th. So that's coming up very soon. That's why I would like you, if you're somebody who is past due on some of these old projects, you'll have to get back to them eventually, but I do recommend get right into the one we're currently on. I think you'll do a lot better if you're watching the launches as they're relevant to you and as it's something that you're working on. So try to get into the Civil War art project, and then you'll have to find time before the end of the year to go back and do the old ones. So report cards will be coming. And I'm not going to lie, it's probably going to be a scary time for some of you guys. The grades are pretty low. The good thing is that the grade that is on there, we do not average our 4 marking periods together to find a grade. The only thing we care about is that final grade, but we do want you guys to know how they are determined. So if this was somebody that we're looking at and yours looks like this, what we did was as of February 13th, we looked where you were, where this blue line was, and what you've completed to the left of that blue line. And I know that the grading's a little confusing, that's why I do want to go over it. So let's say what we do is we count up everything that should have been done at that time. So there were 7 assignments here that were required to do at that point. And this particular student completed 3 out of 7 of the assignments, meaning they've completed 43% of the work that they were supposed to do. The grade that they earned on these 3 assignments that they did was an 88%, but it would be really misleading if we wrote home and told your parents and guardians that you have an 88%, because that tells them that they have a B+, and that's not entirely true. You have a B+ on what you did, but you did less than half of the work that you were supposed to do. So we have to take that into account. We multiply that 88% grade by the 43% of the work you did, and that lowers the grade dramatically to 38%. Then it drops even more when we look into the weekly launches and we see that this person's only done 5 out of 22. It drops their grade to a 36%. So it's going to be eye-opening to a lot of people that these grades are so low, but it's extremely, extremely important to start working harder to get caught up by the next checkpoint so that you at least have all of this stuff turned green and your grade will raise. So another example, kind of the opposite end, this person's completed 6 of 7, meaning they have 86% of the work done. Of the work they've done, they've earned a 77%. What we do is multiply that 77% they earned by the 86% they completed, and their grade is dropped to a 66% because they're not on pace. But this would have been a failing grade, but what we do, this person's completed 22 out of 22 weekly launches, and that was enough to raise their grade to a 70%, which is a passing grade. So this kind of was just to show you the importance of doing these weekly launches, because it is sometimes enough to swing your grade from passing to failing, or from, you know, a B plus to an A minus. So make sure you are in here doing these every single week. And you can also go back in all of your courses and do all of the old ones. And I just wanted to show you how we grade the projects, because I know some of you, it's, you know, you're confused because your grades are a little lower than they used to be in your old schools or whatever, but we do things a little different here. The Summit is more on the cognitive skills. And I want you guys to know that, you know, if you're in 8th grade, we're just looking for you guys to get a 3, which is a C minus. That's kind of the passing threshold. And it's okay if you get that 3 and you only have a 70%. Obviously, we want you to aim for that 5 and aim and turn in your best work, but it's absolutely acceptable if you have that 3. The goal is that by next year, you move up and you're in 9th grade and you get that same skill to a 3.5. Okay, so then by the time you graduate, they'd like to see you at a 5 or even a 6, because 6 tells us that you're college ready. So really don't focus on the grade number so much as just the growth that's going to happen over your years here at CPDLF. And remember, if you are one of those people whose grade is going to be very low, and it is a lot of you, remember to ask for help, okay? We don't know what the problem is unless you reach out and let us know. So there's lots of ways to get in touch. All of these ways here are a good way. Come to Learning Labs on Mondays and Thursdays from 1 to 3. And then don't forget the newest feature of the help desk chat. So that will be posted in the About page of the Google Classrooms. The hours here, Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8, and Fridays from 5 to 7. Remember, if you get in there and it appears like it's a white blank screen, look in the bottom right corner of your screen, and there will be this green Ask Us a Question button. And then that's going to put you directly in touch with one of our CPDLF staff members, typically an instructor. So whether you need math help or science or something like that, those are typically the teachers that are manning that in the evening. So instead of messaging your learning guide in the evening, because they're typically not working, why don't you message the help desk chat, where there will be somebody there definitely until 8 p.m. We are on checkpoint 5 of the Civil War Art Project. And what we are looking at this time is why study the Civil War. So you're going to be answering the essential question: why is it important to study the Civil War? Why does it matter to us today? So again, if you look off to the right side of your screen, that's always where the resources are. So you'll want to click on the legacy of the Civil War and slavery today. These are the modern day resources that the Summit has provided to you. I do want to point out this one here. Whenever you open that resource link, this is what it's going to look like. This top one, this one that says RT, do not use that. I've actually spoken to the Summit. They've deleted it from the base curriculum because it's really an unreliable source. It's a Russian state-sponsored website, and that's really not a valid or credible source to use when you're discussing American history. So refrain from using that top one there. I've tried to delete it out of there, and I do not have access to do that. So I just wanted to tell you guys here, don't use it. It's not valid. It's not reliable. And that meaning it's not going to be good evidence for your paper. Whenever you are told to, when you guys are doing the art and you're supposed to be copying and pasting a link to your art into the checkpoint, I just wanted to show you guys a video real quick of how to do that. So what you want to do is go into either your Google Drawing or your slideshow or whatever document, go to the URL bar, right-click copy or hit Control-C. Go back into the Summit, into that little box. You can right-click paste, but it's going to tell you to use Control-V to paste. So Control-V, highlight all of that, go up to your toolbar and hit the Insert Link button, and then that's all you have to do. That lets me link directly to your art presentation from the Checkpoint 5. Lastly, week 27 runs February 28th through March 7th, and you should be trying to master the Abolishing Slavery focus area and submit Checkpoint 5, that should be the Civil War project, not the Industrial Revolution, but submit Checkpoint 5. And then if you'd like a challenge, try to complete the Civil War additional focus area, because that is one of those ones that's for extra credit. So that's all I have this week. Remember, I'm out of town Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If you need something, please don't wait until I get back on Thursday, especially if it's immediate. Reach out to one of the other instructors and they will help you. All right, have a good week.